Hi guys, welcome back to our channel, and today we're joined by my lovely friend Neil, and we thought we would touch upon the subject of anxiety coming out of lockdown. So do you want to go first?
I think everyone's experienced this in a different way, and I remember when the lockdown came thinking we're all going to be talking about this afterwards, and knowing that you guys are huge advocates of mental health, it makes sense to put a video like this on the mental health channel. But I think everyone's experience is valuable, and I think whatever you are experiencing is okay, even if you're not the slightest bit worried about it, or you're a little bit funny, or there's so many permutations, and everyone's absolutely different, and there's no right or wrong way to experience it. So don't kind of make yourself wrong if you think you're not doing it the same way as everyone else. Otherwise you'll get anxious about not being anxious, and, and that's really crazy,
Yeah, we were just talking about that because we were just sort of saying, what do you want to say in the video? Do you feel anxious? And I just feel a bit weird about not feeling too anxious.
Because you were quite involved with your own projects, weren't you?
Yeah.
So and the whole isolation thing, in a sense, didn't really affect you that much because it wasn't a million miles away from what you'd be doing anyway. You explain.
Yeah, so I was writing from home. So I was quite used to being by myself, and my partner would still work for the NHS, so he was still going to work. But the only thing, I think we said it in a previous video, is that I probably became too comfortable being by myself. So coming out of lockdown for me is almost a good thing in the way that it's pushing me to go back out into the world again. The only thing I'd probably get anxiety about is my grandparents, and kind of if I do have it spreading to someone else, but for myself, I don't know why I don't feel that anxious about it, but I feel weird about not feeling anxious.
But now you're being anxious about not being anxious.
Yeah, which is like a whole circle. But yeah, we were just saying we've seen a lot of photos of people going to the pub, and I've seen people do all sorts of stuff, and there's not kind of social distancing and things like that. So there must be a lot of people in the same boat as me.
Well, I think everyone's situation is unique.
Yeah.
And I think what also this has forced us to do, or a lot of people to do, is think, right, what are my needs? What are my weaknesses? What are my strengths? What do I want to do? What would I like to do? Questions like that. So, for example, if it's not comfortable for you to go to the pub, if you don't feel comfortable about that. I mean, the last thing we need is FOMO at a time like this, worrying about what other people are doing. No, I mean, in collaboration, if that's the right word, with the government, we were all made responsible to do our bit. And whatever that bit still is, if it's good for us, it's going to be good for other people. If we're high risk, it makes sense not to go out. So there's no right or wrong way of doing it. But I know many mental health professionals, including your mum, of course, have quite correctly identified that there is going to be more anxiety at a time of coming out of this, because I think it's so unprecedented. We've never experienced anything like this in our lives ever. Yeah. I mean, a pandemic, when was the last one? Spanish flu, 1918, whatever.
Yeah, we've had movies about it since, haven't we? Sort of pandemics.
Do you know about 2 days after lockdown started, they showed the film Pandemic on TV? I'm like, are you seriously showing this? And then I got into
Contagion.
Yeah, it was actually very good, unfortunately, because I wanted to be cross. What are you doing showing that? I got into it and then frightened myself even more. But anyway, so everyone will come out, everyone will experience possible anxiety. So what we want to do later on in this podcast, because we're recording this for a podcast as well, and in a separate video, we're going to be exploring some possible strategies that you can do, that if you are experiencing anxiety for any reason at all, because it could be there's as many reasons as there are people, strategies from real people who've lived real solutions, mental health professionals and folks like that. It just makes sense to put out a video like this at a time like now.
And it's okay, we kind of want to say it's okay if your mates are going to the pub and you don't feel comfortable. Don't feel like that's a bad thing. It's very natural, and it's been drummed into us to almost think like that. So we just don't want you to feel alone if you are kind of on the other spectrum, and just bit different to how everyone else is taking it, or seems like they're taking it.
Yeah, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And also remember, people wear masks an awful lot. I don't mean the COVID masks, emotional,
I always see.
mental masks, and what it could look like they're experiencing it as might not be remotely true at all. They could look like they're having a great time and not be, or be really anxious inside and all that sort of thing. Plus, of course, it's not as if anxiety didn't exist before COVID. Anxiety is absolutely, it's a pandemic all of its in and of itself virtually. But I thought of a little technique. Can I show you this?
Yeah.
But based loosely on the field of mindfulness, and I need mindfulness more than anybody else. I actually forgot to do my mindfulness practice, and the irony wasn't lost on my teacher. But anyway, okay. So mindfulness is all about the now, right here, right now. So if you're anxious, anxiety is generally future based. Okay. Anxiety is generally what is going to happen in the future. Okay, it is possible to really reduce the symptoms, really ameliorate the presence of anxiety in the present moment, but that's the only time it can really be done. In the same way you can't breathe for 5 minutes time, you can't not be anxious for 5 minutes time. There is essentially only now, which is one of the core tenets of mindfulness, as you would expect it would have the concept of now. So right now, right here, right now, can I use you as my
of course.
Right, okay, so what are you doing right now, this minute?
What am I thinking?
Or anything, what you're doing?
Just sitting here doing a video with you.
Literally just that.
Yeah.
Literally just that.
Mm-hmm.
You aware of the air temperature in the room? Probably not before I had said anything, but now.
Yeah, now I am.
But now, maybe,
it's quite nice.
Or how about your left knee? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, now I am.
Now you are. Okay, it was always there, but we didn't put our attention on it. You see, but in a situation like this, I'm gently sort of guiding Sam to think of what she might not have thought of before. How about the tip of your nose?
Ooh. That's all right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so that sort of thing. So it is possible, whether we guided like I'm doing it, or using CDs or whatever, or even doing it yourself. It's called self-suggestion, just bringing yourself to be aware of what's going on in this moment right now. And all you're doing is noticing what you notice. That's all you have to do. By all means, go back to what you were doing before, after your 10 minutes, if you want to go back to being anxious again, or doing whatever you... By all means, no one's forcing you. All I'm saying is, it is one possibility that you could, for 5-10 minutes a day, just sit here and notice what you're doing now. How about your big toe?
Yep, that's there.
Yeah, your big toe's there, and you didn't even have to look. That's impressive.
I moved it.
You've obviously got a lot of faith in the big toe, right? But all you are literally doing, Sam, is noticing what you're noticing.
Yeah,
right now.
That's true.
And that's all you have to do. It's not a particularly big ask, is it? Just noticing what you notice, right? And how much anxiety is involved in doing that?
Not a lot.
No, zero.
No.
So whatever you might be doing, you can stop. And they do this in mindfulness. I think they call it the 3-minute mindful moment or something like that. And it's literally, it really is that simple. It's just a question of noticing what you notice. And that's all you have to do in that moment. And then you're completely present. And then you do start to notice that there is actually, in this present moment, there's nothing to be scared of, and because it's all present moment, the future doesn't really exist.
That's true.
And therefore, if anxiety is only based in the future, and you're worried about something that doesn't exist, what's the point of worrying about it in the first place? Because worrying will only cause anxiety, and you get into that little negative loop. So
That's so true.
I'm not a mindfulness teacher, but if I had to interpret mindfulness, it would be that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a quote. I can't remember.
Oh,
what
there's
it is.
many. Come on, give us one.
Yeah.
Give us
oh God, I can't remember. That's going to take me a while. But yeah, it's about don't let tomorrow ruin your today.
Yeah, that'd do.
Yeah, because you don't know what tomorrow's going to be, and it's easier said than done. But sometimes I just think, yeah.
But equally, it's a practice.
Yeah.
And if you were to practice that or anyone was to practice that for 5 minutes a day, just doing that noticing what you notice thing, that is a 5-minute mindful practice where there is no future. There is no future. There's only now. Oh, and what's there to be scared of now? Nothing. And then in the next now, nothing.
Yeah.
And then you're in a good future because it's not a future you're worried about.
Yeah. Wow.
Boom.
Mind blown. Boom.
Did you like that?
I did.
There you
yeah.
go. Namaste.
It's actually weird to be just thinking in the present. It's very strange.
Well, I brought you right back to the present moment.
Yeah. Like because you're right. Everyone's always next step. What's going to happen next?
Exactly.
Even at what's going to happen this afternoon. Whereas to actually be present, that's. Really
and another really good thing about being present is there's no future. There's also no past.
Yeah, that's
true. So you don't have to be worried about shit that went on before. You don't have to get stuck in guilt for anything because there's only now. Boom.
Don't let the past ruin your now.
Yes.
That was a bit rubbish, but yeah.
I see where you were going with it.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope you found that tip useful.
Yeah, we really do hope. I'm a passionate advocate for mental health. I mean, I know the whole family is, and I think the work they do is stunning and extraordinary. So just to be a part of this podcast and part of this video is absolutely fantastic. Do read the book, Hope with Depression. I know Hope with Anxiety is coming out soon. This wasn't intended to sell you something, but it's Lynn wrote it, and it's going to be good. And I can tell you that. And you can't see her, but she's off camera. So if I don't say that, she's going to throw a dart at me. But thank you, Sam.
Thank you for coming on the podcast.
How about your big toe on your other foot?
I think that's gone.
What?
It's there.
Is it there?
Yeah, I move it each time. I move all of them.
Okay.
We're going to be doing this for a while.
Oh, can I do one more thing on noticing?
Yeah, of course,
On noticing what you notice. Okay, let's take this a stage further. What if you could start, once you've mastered the aspect of noticing, and noticing that you can notice what you notice, right? It's going
makes sense.
It's going a bit levels deep,
Yeah.
but you get me now.
Yeah.
Right, then what if you could start to deliberately notice what you wanted to? Right, let me illustrate this. Okay, I want you to look around. This is a bit biased because this is your living room, so you know it well, but we'll do it anyway. Look around for the next 10 seconds, right, and just look at everything that's white. Just memorise as many white things as you can. Okay? Right, shut your eyes. Promise they're shut?
Yeah.
Alright, tell me how many green things are in the room.
Oh, what? Oh, flower stems.
Very good.
Because I was thinking that the actual flowers are white, so the stem is green. That's the only reason I know that. And I think I'm wearing green. Sort of.
There's components of green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
But it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I asked you to. So what if we were to deliberately notice what we wanted to notice? What's right?
Yeah.
If we transfer what's right, white, and what's green into what's right for us in that moment. In the present moment, then we're just noticing what's right in the moment. Then the next moment you'll be noticing what's right in the moment, and then the next moment you'll be noticing what we've got an absolute penchant, us human beings, for what's wrong and trying to fix it. And the more we notice what's wrong, guess what? The more we notice of what's wrong, and on all that goes. But it can, the principle work in the same way. Have you ever bought a new outfit and suddenly you see it everywhere?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that about cars.
Right, and cars.
Yeah.
You bought a new car and you suddenly see it everywhere. Right, now if you there is now science behind this. It's called reticular activation system. All right, and it's a part of the brain that notices what we tell it to. Yeah.
Wow.
And it works for new cars, and it works for new dresses, and it works for looking for what's right in the moment.
Wow.
Because the green things were always in the room at the same time, but Sam wasn't looking for them.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that's right and that you want to see it does exist in the world, or you could possibly even create it in the world and bring it to the world for other people. But if you're not looking for it, you won't see it. And if you want to see this principle demonstrated remarkably, go to YouTube and type in basketball awareness test. Trust me.
Yeah.
You've seen this one, haven't
Seen
you?
that. Very clever.
Right. Go to YouTube, type in basketball awareness test, and if that doesn't prove this point to you, nothing, absolutely nothing will. I think we've talked for long enough now.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, but watch that video. It's very clever.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I really hope you enjoyed the video.
Thank you.
And reach out to any of us if we can be of value.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Bye.